Have you ever been to the center of slave trading? Or maybe to the city well known for its glass blowing? Or maybe you've ever been to the headquarters of Dutch East India Company? If not, follow me. Today we are in the capital of Zeeland, Middelburg, and it's all these I've mentioned and so much more. If Amsterdam is the loud TikTok influencer of the Netherlands, then Middelburg is the eccentric professor who invented TikTok before the internet even existed. Clever, complicated, and full of weird party tricks. The city started life in the 9th century as a middle castle, literally a fortress built to stop Vikings from treating the Dutch coast like their summer Airbnb. But a few centuries later, around 1127, Norbertine monks set up an abbey here, and it became the spiritual and political HQ of the whole region. You can still see that abbey today, only now it looks less like divine holiness and more like a Gothic Hogwarts. By 1217, Middelburg had its official city rights. Translation: it was old news before Amsterdam even got its first glow up. And while other Dutch towns were busy milking cows and fighting over cheese, Middelburg was hustling hard. Its ships sailed to England, Flanders, and beyond. Medieval LinkedIn would have had #trader, #networker, #influencer all over its profile. Fast forward to the Dutch Golden Age. Middelburg wasn't just on the map, it was practically running the map. It became the second biggest hub for the VOC, that's the Dutch East India Company, basically Amazon Prime with muskets. From its shipyards, hundreds of vessels launched to Asia stuffed with dreams, cannons, and barrels of salted herring. Exotic spices, tea, and fabrics poured back in. Picture a 17th century Costco, but with way more nutmeg and way fewer free samples. And here's the kicker: Middelburg didn't just trade goods, it traded ideas. Local spectacle makers like Hans Liebrecht and Zachariah Janssen basically gave the world the telescope and the microscope. Yeah, the reason you can doom scroll space pics from NASA or panic over your pores in 10 times zoom, that all traces back to Middelburg. So next time you're spiraling at 3 a.m. staring at galaxies or blackheads, you can thank a 17th century Dutch guy with bad eyesight. Of course, life wasn't all telescopes and tea. Middelburg had its fair share of plot twists darker than a Netflix true crime series. Let's fast forward to 1940. The Nazis were rolling through the Netherlands and Middelburg ended up in the middle of the chaos. On May 17th, the city centre went up in flames after a heavy bombardment. Whole blocks of medieval streets burned down faster than a bad review on Yelp. But the Dutch are stubborn. They rebuilt much of the town brick by brick, copying the original Gothic facades. So when you wander through Middelburg today thinking, wow, that looks ancient, you're technically right, but also kind of looking at a 20th century cosplay. And while we're spilling tea, we need to talk about Middelburg's uncomfortable side hustle during the Golden Age. The city was one of the biggest players in the Dutch slave trade. Yikes! Behind all those picturesque gables and warehouses was a shipping company that sent more than 268,000 enslaved Africans across the Atlantic. The profits they got: sugar, cocoa, tobacco, cotton. Basically everything that keeps sweet tooths and caffeine addicts alive today and what we slave ourselves for. Today Middelburg has owned up to the history, thankfully, thank you very much. In the city centre there's a sobering slavery monument, 2 white pillars, 2 black pillars split by a thin red line. No flashy statues, no grand speeches, just a clean, sharp reminder that not all history is pretty enough for Instagram. And honestly, that's the point. But Middelburg is nothing if not resilient. Time and time again it's been burned, bombed, looted, flooded, and every time it bounces back like the annoying Marvel hero who just won't stay dead. That mix of scars and survival is exactly what makes the place interesting. You don't just see postcard perfect streets, you see a city that's been through it and still serves you a cappuccino under Gothic arches. So yeah, Middelburg isn't just cute old houses and canals. It's got shadows in its history, and that's what gives it depth. Like your favorite edgy band, you love them not just for the catchy tunes, but because they've clearly seen some things. And that's why you should visit the place, because it's not just another Dutch postcard. It's a place where monks built, merchants traded, inventors tinkered, wars raged, and now you can sip your latte while a 600-year-old tower watches over you. Because it's history, sarcasm, and Instagram all in one. So yeah, if the swan-born science lab of a city made you smile, smash that like button, subscribe, press the bell to get all the notifications, and trust me, the next stop will blow your mind even harder. So stay tuned. Bye bye.